Hi and welcome to Take Time to Create. My name is Linda and this is where we take time out of our everyday lives to create new and wonderful things. Today it's a little bit different than a normal video. I'm just going to show you how I start a blank journal page. How do I get started, especially when my creative juices are not flowing and I don't exactly know what I'm going to do with that journal page. So I'm going to give you a few tips, tricks, and techniques that I do to get started on a journal page. So let's get started. So here is my blank journal page, and sometimes I just don't know where to start. And there's usually two ways I do a journal page. Number one, I know exactly what I'm going to do and I just go to town and I know exactly where I'm going. Other times I just don't know what I'm going to do. And all I know is I need to get paint on the paper. So I don't know what I'm going to do, so I just need to do something. So I'm just going to show you some ways that I like to start my journal page. Whether or not I keep it, whether or not I like it, I may just gesso out over everything in the very end, but it gets me comfortable with the page and it starts to break up my page. So the very first thing that I could do, and it's the one that you've seen me do the most of, I do this all the time, and I'm just going to work on little sheets here. I just have a couple of them, and I have gloss gel, Mod Podge would work, any kind of glue like that would work just fine. And we're going to use it again and again. And you've seen me use this technique before, and I love it. So I just stick some down on the page, and I'm just getting something on the page. So now this page is not so scary. It's not so blank. And I think that's what gets intimidating after a while, because you just see this white piece of paper, and I am guilty of this too. I will go online and I will see all these beautiful pages, all these art journals, and then I think, oh, how come mine's not there? Well, let's break the page. Let's do something. Let's put something on something. And once you have something down, so see, I've got something down, you can, well, I really like to do this technique too, and I just have some white gesso. And all I'm doing is just getting started. We're not going to finish any of these pages. I'm just showing you how I just get my creativity flowing. Once I have stuff on the page, then all of a sudden I go, oh, now I know what to do. And I'm just going to put some white gesso over. Now I can see what's going on. I can see if I like any shapes, if I want to leave parts. I've got the little scraper here on the back. Maybe I can scrape off some words here and I leave some here. There we go. I'm gonna paint white here. Okay. Well, this is a good start for this page. Then I can add ephemera over the top. I can add just about anything, you know. I've got some tags that I can start adding tags on. I could grab stencils, and so that's the same with all of these. That's page 1. Okay, so that's the first way I usually start an art journal page. All right, so I have another piece of paper out, and what I'm doing is I'm grabbing these maps. Now you can see I'm working on a map here, and I usually use a map to protect my work surface. So here's a map that I've already worked on. And it's really kind of pretty. Look at that blue. It's really pretty. I'm going to rip some of this blue off. Oh, that's really pretty. Cool. And I'm going to rip. So, and I've talked about this before where I say, I use this for my art journal pages. And you guys probably are like, yeah, right. No, I really do. Because I like these. Gloss gel. We're going to put down some, and we'll put it here, and I don't think, oh, there we go, I need a little bit more. And the whole idea is just to get, paint something on the paper. Just to start getting your creative juices flowing. Just to see what happens. Oh yeah, these are pretty. I don't even know. I don't even remember what project this was from, but doesn't matter. I have an art journal page started, and from here you can add gel, you can add, you know, gesso over the top, you can do whatever you want, but this gets me a really good background. I have a really pretty background. Now, some of these I've used some water-based products on here, and the the gloss gel is reactivating them, but I think it just adds a lot to it. I think I have some dilutions here, and it doesn't matter to me. So that's just something to remember when you're using all this and you don't remember your mediums. So we have another page. Just use those maps that you use as backgrounds, like I have here. And when I'm done with this one, this has got a really pretty blue, I'm going to be able to use, and I'm going to be very excited. It's going to look very pretty. Then once again, you can put, you know, your different ephemera or tags. This is a chipboard tag, whatever you want on the top pictures. You know, this is a great clip art background. Well, I don't know what that is, but here's a pretty balloon. You can make a whole scene with the clip art with this pretty French balloon. So lots of options with this one. Okay, that's background number 2. All right, background number 3. Let's do another one of my favorites, and that is tissue paper. And this is the tissue paper that is inside a pattern, and I usually really like it. And this will work for tissue paper. It'll also work for book pages, and book pages also work for music sheets. That all kind of works the same. Any tissue paper will work. If you don't have pattern paper, you can get tissue paper at the party supply store, at the Dollar Tree. They usually have lots of tissue paper. The more wrinkly you make it, the more textured it will be. It'll never be perfectly flat, so don't think it will be perfectly flat. So don't try that, but give yourself some texture. Enjoy the texture. If you decide, no, I really don't like where this is going, but it gets your creative juices flowing, then I say this is a huge success. If this is just an exercise to get you going, then I think that is terrific. So that is something that you need to bear in mind, that not everything is going to turn out perfect, and not everything's going to be a winner in your sketchbook. So that's just something to bear in mind as well. All right, so now we've got the tissue paper here. Cool, wrinkly technique. I'm loving it. I do like to leave the tissue paper sometimes just like this, because I really like the browns to come through, and then I add stuff on top. Or this time we're going to add black gesso. So now we have this with the gel medium, and I have black gesso, and that just gives it a different look, a different dimension. And sometimes it's nice just to have a all dark base to your art journal page, and then you can just paint on top of that, and you can see the texture when I tip it to the side, because the black really highlights it and brings it out. So that's another option just to start your journal page. Let me dry this one, because once it's dry, then I'm going to show you what you can do. You can paint on top of this. I'm going to just show you 2 ways of painting. So we're just going to paint right over the top. I have 2 folk art. I have teal, topaz, and aquamarine. Doesn't really matter. One way that I just paint on a lot of things is I just take just a little bit and I daub it right on. Oh, and before I paint, you can really see that texture with the black. Now that it's dry, you can really see it come through. I just love that the black really shows what's going on. Oh, come on. There we go. So I just pour it right on, and I just kind of dry brush it around, and you want to just kind of let it go, kind of mix, just like this. There we go. And this is nice if you knew what your focal point is going to be. This is a nice way to incorporate some of the colors of your focal point. So I do like to do that, but look how pretty this is. Look at that. You already have a background ready to go. Your blank page is now started and it's ready to go. So I do like to do this to start a blank page. And then, like I said, if you already knew what your focal point is, then you could just start building off of that, and you could use colors that work with your focal point. And that's usually what I say too. Start with a focal point. So if you have this balloon as your focal point, start with that. But if you didn't know what to do other than I have a balloon, this kind of helps you out. Hopefully. I'm hoping this is helping you out. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. So let's do some more painting. Now, we don't have to put texture on. Sometimes it's nice just to paint without texture. You just kind of paint. So sometimes it's nice, and I'm taking some dollops of sterling silver, and this is Deco Art, and it is Peacock Pearl. Okay. I have a spatula with the end. It's on the end of my Finnabar brush, but if you have like a credit card, you can notch out of it. If you have, you know, there's other things that you can do with this. I mean, other tools out there that you can do with this, and I just kind of spread it down, which is another way to get it going. And I'm going to add that silver is a little streaky. I don't love it. Doesn't show up as well on camera, so I'm going to add some blue. Add this blue like this. Then I'm going to take this end and streak it a little bit to get some really cool texture going on. And the possibilities are really endless with this that you can do. And once again, if you know your focal point, this is always a great way to incorporate those colors from your focal point. And this is actually a pretty simple way to get some texture going on. And this is a cool way to make grass or trees or, you know, whatever. But that's another way to start your journal page. Just get some paint on the page and start painting. To me, that's the most important thing you have to do. Just get something on the page. Now, another way you can start a journal page is to use a stencil and just get the paint on the page with a stencil. Now, I'm actually going to use a black piece of paper with this stencil because I have an opaque modeling paste and it's going to be white, so I just want you to be able to see it a little better. Now, you can use acrylic paint with your modeling paste to kind of tint it, give it a color, but for this demo, I'm just doing this, and you can always add more, but this is a great way to just, you know, get something down on your page, just to start out with it. Even if you add a bunch of layers over it and you never see it again, you got your page started. You decided what you're going to do, and you're like, okay, I'm going to get my page started. Now, I'm just using acrylics today. I know we can use oil pastels and watercolors, and if you guys are interested, I can do this series again with other mediums as well. You're like, how do you start a journal page using watercolors or water-based mediums? If you want to know what I would do with, you know, chalks or pastels, I could do that. If you're interested about markers, how would I start a journal page? Just a blank sheet of paper with markers and all that good stuff. So let me know in the comments down below what other things you want me to experiment with. Okay. There we go. And of course, if you were neater than I am and taking your time, you wouldn't have the ring around it, but you get the point. I have now started this blank sheet, and I can just paint over it, or I can color around it, or now this is really fun because I can take my white gel pen, and now of course it's super duper wet, so I need to be careful that I don't get my hand in it, but I can take my gel pen and I can doodle around this. So this is a great way to start my creative juices flowing just by doodling, and that's always a great way to do this. So there we go. I gave you 5 different ways to start your journal to take that blank page and get your creative juices flowing. And there's the 5th one. There we go. That's 5 different ways. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some ideas on how to get started when your creativity is just not there, or you just aren't sure how to start that journal page. I hope it gave you ways to jumpstart your creativity. If you have other ways that you guys jumpstart your creativity on a blank journal page, put that down in the comment section below. I would love to know how you guys start a blank journal page. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are posted. I have 2 Instagrams that you can follow me on. I have Linda's Journey 78, which is my personal Instagram. That's family vacations and all of those other goodies. And then I have Take Time to Create, which is my crafty goodies. And I would love to have you follow along on both. I also have a blog for Take Time to Create and a Facebook page as well. All of the links are in the description box down below. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.